Welcome back from the break. My name is Catherine Mwangi. Thank you for joining us this morning. We want to have a conversation about families. A lot of what we see going on in our society, both the good and the bad, finds its root in family, how we were raised, the environment in which we were raised. And to help just navigate through this conversation, I'm joined by incredible people. It was hot before this show began, but let's see whether the heat still is going to be on or not. No, there's no room for not. It still will be on. So I start with someone who's no stranger to the program, Miss Jackie Kerr. She's the founder president of the Blended Families Network and also a Blended Families coach. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Catherine.
And I want to also invite you for the first time on Life and Style, Miss Mary Washeke.
Thank you.
She is a parenting coach, an executive coach, a life coach, and she'll tell us more about her work. I hope I've introduced you correctly.
Absolutely, thank you.
And a gentleman I haven't seen for the last 3 years. The last time we had a conversation, his work on fathers and sons was and I believe still is phenomenal. He has a second book out and he'll be telling us more about it. John Willis Njoroge.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante,
It's good to see you.
Good to see
Happy
you.
new 3 years.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, broken, dysfunctional families, those, I used to think that's the same thing. And then when I started to study a bit more about this show, I realized it's just way too much. And it's all different and there's just many angles to so many things. So I want us to first help our audience understand, and each of you will just give me your thoughts around it and studies that's around that. And I'll start with you, Jackie. What's the definition of, say, a dysfunctional family?
A dysfunctional family is where the well-being of the members in the family is at risk. There's no healthy relationships. People cannot express themselves. They cannot be who they are. And families are supposed to give us self-esteem, but this is a family that does not also boost our self-esteem.
Right.
Because we have so much that we sweep under the rug that is
Right.
happening in this family that we can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
So our family at times is a source of shame.
Yes.
Yeah, and the pain that we carry along as we live life.
Yes.
Yes.
Mary, dysfunctional families, what brings that about?
When we say something is dysfunctional, we say something is not able to operate at its normal level and optimum level. And when we also talk about dysfunctionality, we say that the individuals are not able to carry on healthy social relationships. So you find that what causes dysfunctionality within a family is several things could be occurring. And the first one is abuse. It could be physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, even spiritual abuse.
Oh,
And from all those angles, those are all forms of abuse that could be occurring. And they could be manifesting in terms of a physical attack or bullying or microaggressions and passivity, you know, or even passive aggression where somebody gives you the silent treatment. So that's a really a dysfunctionality.
Right.
And then the other thing is over controlling authoritarian families with a lot of fear, and there is always tension. So that an individual is always afraid to be at home, or even emotionally afraid. So they isolate themselves. So if everybody is in the sitting room, you go to the bedroom. If people come to the bedroom, you come because of that kind of fear and controlling environment. And then the other thing is usually also the family could be looking functional, but the other challenge is that they are unduly high expectations, almost like perfectionism, that also makes an individual within a family to feel like value for them. You are valued as an individual member of that family if you are perfect, or you achieve certain perfect scores, or perfect look, or perfect some form of a target to achieve. And therefore, these individuals never feel adequate enough or good enough. That is, again, another form of dysfunctionality.
Okay. We'll come more, there's some things you've touched on that I'll talk about. But John,
Yes.
so that's dysfunctional. It doesn't mean that the family is necessarily broken. So help define for us a broken family.
Dysfunctional leads to broken. And broken is where individuals, because I just first want to say that, you know, family is the oldest institution on earth. And when a family is broken, that is projected in our social interactions. So a broken family is a family that that has actually moved away from the purpose of a family in a society. Because a family is where nurturing takes place, guiding takes place, and also education that is passed from one generation to another. That's where it takes place. So a broken family is where purpose is not known and vision is not in existence. Yeah.
So when you say that, I wonder about the kids whom we see on the streets, who either were abandoned or they chose to leave because of some form of dysfunction, and they end up forming their own street families. Where do they lie in this conversation?
They are products of our dysfunctionality and our brokenness. And with that core lack of familyness, they have looked for that in other areas. And that is the same thing that is why gangs thrive. They get into a group of boys and everyone is there for you. We've got you, we've got your back. All these people are looking for is the familyness. Yes.
That sense of oneness,
Yes.
that we are together. So
Yes.
I didn't have this at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
But out here, I'm feeling accepted. So because you
Yes.
spoke to that perfectionist thing.
Yeah.
So where I don't feel as though in this family I belong, but for street families, I'm very passionate about them. So they feel accepted with people who appear to be like them. But are they really families?
You know, a family is really individuals, two or more, who have come together and they are domesticating their social relationship. And a family, as he puts it, is a place where people are nurtured, they find the social support, psychological support, that psychological safety to be and to express themselves. And a family is where really you call home. That's why we say east-west, home is best. And a family, home is where the heart is. So they are really families. That's why we have given the name street families. They are families. They are finding the social support they require from each other. They have each other's back. And they can also be a street family, which is dysfunctional if they are tearing each other apart.
Yeah.
So it's really expanding the meaning of family to really fundamentally then know it's the nurturing environment that is created for an individual to flourish, to grow, to be fruitful and productive for themselves, for others, and for the planet. Yeah.
Okay, so John, Mary Washeke alluded to something and I smiled at it because that's how it was when we were growing up. Okay, but let me not say we, maybe we all didn't grow up. Where you hear your dad is at the gate, and if you are in the living room or in the kitchen or outside playing, you quickly, before that car gets to the garage, you quickly are in your rooms and you're quiet.
Or those steps get to the door.
Or this, you know, you hear the door has, you know, where? So there, and most families, I have had many such stories, in case my father is watching. I've had many such stories of families like that.
Yeah.
And first of all, you work with fathers to sons. Haven't you had the same?
No,
Or my family was unique.
No, we ask them the nicknames that they give their fathers, and you hear all sorts of things.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, but allow me to say this.
Yeah.
Every family has an unwritten constitution, but it is known. And that's why people say, when you come here, this is not what we do. And so, when that man knocks or when you hear him coming at the gate and all that, in your mind, you go through the constitution to see what you have, what you have broken, and you even judge yourself. So before he comes, you flee. And I've heard stories where fathers even beat their children for the sins that they will do, that they will commit in future. Oh so it's like an advanced punishment.
I know you'll do this, so this is for that.
Yeah.
That is sadism.
But you see, but you see the challenge that that we have, especially with broken families.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's this thing about triangulation, where in such a family, the mother is not able to confront the father, the father is not able to confront the mother, and so to communicate to each other, they go through the children. And the children are not able to confront with the father, so they go through the mother or the favorite child in that family. And so when you find a family that functions that way, sometimes even what we are calling dysfunctional family, to them is what they perceive as functional way of life. But you see, when this person moves from that family and gets married to someone, they propagate that. So it's also good to understand that dysfunctional state of a family is something that is passed on from one generation to another.
Absolutely.
So it just propagated by someone who experienced something in a family unit.
Yeah.
So that goes even to the streets and all these other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Jackie, as the president of the Blended Families Network and as a blended family coach, you've come across many blended families, and you're actually an author of such a book, and you're in a blended family as well. So, and I know your story, and you could maybe touch on it just a bit for the viewers to catch up before I ask my question.
I am actually in a blended family.
Yes.
I have been in a blended family for the last, now, maybe 18 years and counting. I am a stepmom of 2, a bio mom of 2, and I have also adopted 1.
Okay.
So I have 5 kids who call me daughter. Who
Call you
me
mom.
Yes. So
Awesome.
I'm a mom of 5.
Yes.
And because blended families come with a lot of challenges, that is why I began the Blended Family Network,
Yes.
to actually support families like mine to build healthy and emotionally balanced relationships in their family, so that
Yes.
everyone can thrive,
Yes.
the children and the adults
Right.
in that family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you the one who was coming out of a relationship, or it's your husband?
It's my husband.
It's your husband,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So in terms of you being embraced by your children, the 2 step children, what was that experience like? Because they must have been coming from a certain situation or scenario as that family, and then now you're coming,
Okay.
you know.
I think for me, my experience might not be rich enough because I came into my stepkids' life when they were toddlers. So they were very young. They were around 2
So they had
3.
no room for attitude
Yes.
and poisoning your tea.
Not really, but with time maybe that will come up, because you see we still grow and we still grow with our story. With time they'll still identify and want to know what happened in their history. So I might not have a very rich experience
Okay.
in that, but one of the things that we do in Blended Family Network
Yeah.
is to support people who are going through divorce.
Right.
Yeah, because divorce is not easy. Divorce is painful. Even if you're leaving a bad person, you know, that my bad husband or my bad wife, it's still not easy, because a dream has been killed. Nobody gets married saying that after
I
5
won't-
years,
yeah.
I will divorce.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pain in divorce. So one of the things that we do is to support people going through divorce. And divorce is I would call it, now the family is broken. Yes. And it's broken maybe because of some dysfunctionality or some, let me use the term that nowadays people use, irreconcilable
Differences. Yes, that
Yeah.
legal term.
Yes. Or some, just because they know they're not good for each other, because not all divorces are bad. There are some who are happily divorced because this was not going to work anyway.
So, at what point, when you say happily divorced, because first divorce is like death,
Yeah.
when you're going through it or making the decision to divorce. So are you happy making that decision then, or this happy divorced status comes in after you realize, I can survive, I can do better all by myself?
No. And happy does not mean, hey, yeah.
It is settling in your mind that it was the right decision.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is evaluating it and
Yeah.
realizing it was the best decision for both of you. Happy
Yeah.
does not mean tip.
Yes.
No.
What is happy then, Mary?
Happy is, please expound on that.
Washake, what is happily divorced?
Happy means that you have settled it in your mind that this was the right decision to make for both of us, that both of us and even the children will be better off with one happy parent than two fighting parents. And that the environment you will create for yourself and the other individual and the children especially is an environment that will be much more nurturing and nourishing, and that will cause the children to flourish and to grow to be healthy individuals, and again well and adequately resourced to navigate life. So that is happily because you are destructive when you are together, and you are also destroying children who are victims of circumstances because of both your choices. So it is good to make a sound decision and know that these children are better off with one happy parent, and in one happy parent home environment that is stable and nourishing than an unstable environment that is made of two fighting, violent environment where there is neglect.
But it doesn't necessarily negate that immediate pain of a dead
really.
dream.
Happiness and pain is the same, it's just
Same
opposite
coin?
side of the coin, yeah. So it doesn't mean that when somebody says happy, we have negated pain. Absolutely.
I'm happily painful. Or I'm painfully happy. What are we saying?
Life is about paradoxes.
paradoxes,
And
yeah.
parallel
So it
truths.
still hurts, but
Yeah.
I'm confident that,
That this is the right decision. It's like having a business that is not doing well and it's eating your money and it's eating your money. At the end of the day, you don't want to close that business, and there's logic that tells you this business is not working.
Yeah.
But there was a dream why you started this business, not to close it.
Yeah.
So when one day you decide to close it just to open up your mind for another business,
Yeah.
you'll be sad. Does that negate the fact that it was eating your money?
No.
No.
But business doesn't have feelings.
No, the feelings.
And
For
I'm
me, the
really
money.
on that point.
Sentimental.
Yeah. You get
Yes, the money, the money drainage, yes.
So we should not think that because I am happy, I am negating the pain. I would not know happiness if I didn't know pain.
Oh,
Pain is
that's
what makes
powerful.
happy
Absolutely,
happy.
yes.
And happy is what makes pain pain. They're the same
That is
thing.
so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why, John, do you find, especially, okay, maybe let me not stereotype, but you find there's most families that stick together for the sake of we need to be seen as together, especially if, like, maybe if you're serving in public spaces or you carry a certain name, so you're dying in your family. But instead of doing what Washeke is saying, like, we need to, like, we are better off apart for the sake of even the children and ourselves, you decide to die in there for the sake of factors that you shouldn't even be worried about.
I think the greatest challenge there is that this person or these two people, they have never met themselves.
Eish,
So
today decided to all kill me now.
They live for others.
Yes.
And it's what the society says that determines how they function as human beings, and that is living a lie. I think what needs to happen is first, and you realize some of those families actually, it's not even the society, it's the families, the shell surrounding the yolk. So where this family is enmeshed and everyone is saying, you can't do this. As in this thing, there's no way
So
you
like
can.
your extended family
Yeah,
members.
the extended family, they're the ones determining what happens in your family. And
Wow.
like now, when I got married,
Yeah.
one of the things that I made clear to, because I'm a village man, I keep on calling the village, but I had to tell them it's not two families coming together. It's a third family being created.
I think if I could just add
Yeah, sure.
that the reason why people live for
For
so
sure.
long, for so long, for sure.
Yeah.
If you go back and if we are honest with ourselves, that is what our mothers, our grandmothers
Yes.
did. People were divorced but living in the same house. You just couldn't walk. The only difference is today, people walk.
Yeah.
But our grandmothers or great-grandmothers,
Yeah.
there was no relationship.
No.
But the family was there.
Yeah.
It was, we stay for the family. So this was their ages. That is what they used to do.
Yeah.
But now, I think with awareness and everything, people walk out. And I think it's also good to give a disclaimer, and I think I like the fact that we are mentioning divorce is painful.
Yes.
This is not to support anyone to get it. It is quite painful. I think one of the things that our generation needs to learn that the other generations used to do is that when the radio was spoiled, they fixed it. When an iron box is spoiled, they fixed it. Today we throw it and then we buy another one.
Yeah.
So let's not do that to our marriages too. Let's try and fix them
Right.
fast.
Yeah.
So let's not throw and say, oh, I'll get another one. I'll get another mobile phone.
Yeah.
Imeharibika. Unatupa.
Yeah.
you buy-
So
we
even
should-
that one itaribika at
Yes.
some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think also at the core of this,
Yes.
fixing should be one of the the first option
Yeah.
that they should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But our parents,
Yeah.
actually lived in homes that there was nothing,
Yeah.
but the family prevailed.
It had to.
Yes. So, they were sleeping in different rooms. There
Yeah.
was no relationship.
Yeah.
But leta chakula, we atakula,
Yeah.
do this, do this. That is how they lived.
So Asheke, what happens then if it can't be fixed?
I think it's just fundamentally believing that what is the best decision to make. And sometimes there's not even time to make that decision, especially when there is domestic violence involved, safety of individuals involved, because if you are trying to fix somewhere where you are unsafe, then of course you will die in it. And we have seen the increase of domestic violence and death and that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's very important for a person to know where is the line, that if we ever get here, then we should not persist. It is the same way you cannot stay in maybe in an abusive business contract that is not creating any value, or the same way you should not stay in an abusive work relationship and all that, is to know where is the line. How far can we say this is fixable and this cannot be fixed? Are you being told that when he hits you once or when she hits you once, then try and fix it? Usually when somebody hits you once, they will hit you again. If somebody grew up in an abusive relationship, they will grow to abuse. And or if you saw your mother being abused, you will accept abuse.
Yes.
So it is you then conceptualizing and saying, I am entering into this relationship, but what am I not willing to take? Because, of course, everybody gets into it with a happily ever after, but the reality is life does happen and things do happen. And therefore you say, beyond this point, or with this, if you cross this boundary,
it's over.
Absolutely. For your safety, for the safety of this individual themselves, and for the safety of the children.
The children.
Because, then the crimes of passion would be minimized, or the time to concoct all these wicked kind of things that we are seeing in the newspaper, where a man then lures the wife back and then kills the wife and the children and all those. We would prevent most of these things. So just have a very healthy reality check with yourself on what you're not willing to compromise. What can I not compromise? What is a no-no for me?
Yeah.
It is very, very important.
Got it.
We bring up our children to conceptualize themselves in terms of careers, but we never show them how to conceptualize themselves in terms of relationships. And that's where they walk into abusive relationships all the time. Yeah.
Okay, we'll pick on that. In a few, let us know what you think about this conversation on social, KTN Life and Style or Kath Mwangi, and we'll share your ideas or opinions or comments with the panel. For now, we take a break. Don't go too far.